One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. To let me be free. From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart of steel and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. A metal mayhem that will never die. With engines roaring, he paves his way. A legend in the making, day by day.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a big morning ahead of us. As you guys can see, it is a Felony Friday. Let's get it. All right. So we've got a lot to discuss, as you guys can see from the title. Iran deal stalls, as well as Trump's citizenship order. He's talking about birthright citizenship, actually. And then Fauci contempt. So we're going to be getting into we're going to be diving in all these stories this morning. But we got a lot of things in between all of the title as well. So let me go ahead and run you guys down the chronological timeline of what we're going to be discussing. Unfortunately, I did miss the show yesterday. It was pretty light on the news. So it worked out kind of well for us in that regard. But today we definitely have some developments. Anyway, so let's go ahead and start from like a day ago kind of thing. We have Middle East latest. Hormuz deal stalled as blockade against Iran continues. Now, that's just kind of bland, vague. Trust me, we're going to go ahead and get into what's actually happening with all this. Then we have a tanker reports explosion in Strait of Hormuz as Iran denies deal with the United States. And that came out one day ago. So I'm assuming it did come out sometime yesterday or a little bit, maybe even the day before a little bit in the evening or something. But then we have North Korea launches suspected ballistic missile. And yes, we were going to talk about this. This was one of the stories that I was, if I was going to go live yesterday, would have been this. I would have been talking about this right here. So North Korea launches suspected ballistic missile, and that is a big deal. Then we have some breaking at the time, by the way. Senate committee holds Fauci in contempt of Congress, and it now heads to the DOJ. So let me go ahead and read this. It says Senate Republicans voted to hold Dr. Anthony Fauci in contempt of Congress after he declined to answer lawmakers' questions during a fiery hearing last week. Firing hearing. It was just him pleading the fifth 111 times. The committee can refer the contempt of Congress resolution directly to the Justice Department or request that Senate Majority Leader John Thune hold a full Senate vote. Paul said yesterday that, quote, the first thing we will do, that is the first thing that we will do if the resolution was approved, would be refer the matter to the DOJ. Interesting, where the way that they're moving it around. Then we got Senator Mitch McConnell discharged from rehab, I guess. I wonder how his actual condition objectively is, right? Then we have President Trump signs executive orders on birthright citizenship, and this is something that is a big deal. As you guys can see, that it's on the title here this morning. And we're going to be discussing getting more into what that executive order actually means. Then we have state primary underway in Tennessee as new district makes debut. And we have a lot of, obviously, a lot of elections going on. We have been seeing that for the past, really since April, May, somewhere in that area. Then we have bodies found in at missing Arizona. Wait, bodies found at missing Arizona. I don't know why they say that. Arizona family's home as suspect flees country. So I guess it sounds like sounds crazy, but let me just go ahead and read this. A shocking development occurred Thursday in the case of a family of 3 missing from their Litchfield Park, Arizona home, with the discovery of human remains in the backyard. And it says, quote, our Avondale police detectives, with the assistance of Phoenix Homicide Unit, are in the process of recovering 2 unidentified bodies in the backyard of this residence. And it says the adult son of the couple who lives there, 27-year-old Matthew Flores, was named as a suspect in their disappearance. Quote, all I can say that he fled the country. Investigators have not yet identified the remains and are not naming the missing couple at the family's request. But neighbors said the family has always seemed pleasant. Wow, we got a lot of shit going on here, man. It's just chaos. Obviously, as you guys have also heard in the regards to the lettuce ordeal, people getting that explosive diarrhea from lettuce, there's been obvious a huge amount of reports about these jalapenos that are, we're having a salmonella outbreak. And this originated, I think it originated anyways, with Chipotle. Chipotle had their, whatever jalapenos that they have. And I guess they have salmonella. So it sounds like it's been a topic of discussion with these jalapenos for the last whole week. So we are definitely keeping an eye on it. Then we have Tennessee primary. Marsha Blackburn wins GOP nomination for governor, which is great. Then we have Iran mocks Trump as nuclear weapons and Strait of Hormuz deals stall. This coming out only 2 hours ago, by the way. President Trump says a deal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz could be just days away, but Iranian leaders are telling a very different story. Iranian's parliament speaker took to social media to mock Trump's shifting rhetoric, posting in part, quote, massive attack coming. Wait, never mind. They want to negotiate. Meanwhile, tensions are escalating elsewhere in the Middle East. Houthi strikes have killed dozens in Yemen, which, yes, I mean, we're talking, actually, I think it was like 30 at a time. This last attack, I mean, it was a big deal as the group threatens to expand its attacks across the Red Sea. Then we have one last thing here. Suspected stabber sought after Dallas police involved shooting. Now, we've been following that Dallas police shooting a little bit for the last day and a half or so. That's unfortunately, I think it's actually been about 2 days, something like that. But nonetheless, we do have it all ready for you guys. All right, so let me go ahead and do our call to actions, and then we'll go ahead and get right into the craziness of this morning. Make sure you guys hit that like button, double tap that screen if you guys are on the vertical side. I very much appreciate it, and it's free to do so. You know what else is free? Is hitting that subscribe button. This is what we do Monday through Friday, and then, of course, we have members only on Saturday morning, man. It's a good time. Speaking of members, please consider becoming a member starting only at $4.99 a month, making sure we're not breaking the bank out there with anybody. But check it out. This is what allows us to be on these airwaves, as well as have these lights on. So thank you guys for becoming members and staying members. Little side note here, make sure you guys follow my Instagram at BallValveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my life, but as well as the show. Millennial Food Time, breaking news, politics, all that great shit, man. It's a great way to get a hold of me one-on-one. And we also have a Discord server for all of you legends. Make sure you guys go in the video description down below, and that's where you'll find the invite link for all of us. And as well as, listen, what's awesome about that Discord is we break minute-by-minute news in there. I have a special breaking news segment, so make sure you guys join up. Last but not least, all super chats, super stickers, gifted memberships, and membership signups are, of course, all going to be presented live and shouted out onto the show. But if you guys like to skip that YouTube 30% brutal cut that they take from your hard-earned cash, we have these platforms that are scrolling around the screen at any time. You guys can donate to those, where I get 100% of the proceeds. And of course, we'll read out loud anything that comes our way, just like a normal super chat. So I've got my email up. We're going to be always scanning. All right. Good morning to all you legends, man. Thank you all for being here. Vanguard Critters was the very first one in here this morning. Appreciate you for hanging out with us. We've got Mountain Woman as well. Rabbit of Chaos saying, good morning, Mike. You were missed yesterday. Well, I thank you very much for that, by the way. Yes, it was just a little bit of a slow morning on the aspect of like headlines and stuff. And I happened to like not get any rest that previous night. And I was like feeling like shit. So I needed to definitely sleep in a little bit more. We got KP as well. Good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat. We got Gary as well as brother OG Steve Easy. Yes, sir. Good morning. We got Road Reality as well. That's right. He says, I hold insane wheels in contempt. We got Virginia Chaos. Good morning. We got Misha. Oh, wait, what is it? Meshed learning? Yeah, okay, there we go. What's up? We got meshed learning in here. We got rolling 3, my brother Dean. Shout out to my man. Let's see, we got Paul as well. Good morning. We got Tootie Bug. Yes, great to see you in the chat, by the way. We're running our way down. Promise. I'm trying to not like get on, it's a lot of people in here that I'm always trying to go through. We got brother So Loud as well. Good morning to you from the boondocks in North Carolina. Appreciate you as well. Look at that stash. David Solomon says, yes, sir. Good morning to you. We got Carrie, my man, as well. Appreciate you for hanging out with us. Brother Slim, always appreciate you. Maker's Mark said yesterday was cancel cut. No, it actually had zero to do with alcohol. And I'm always the first one to say, no, I was hungover as shit. No, it wasn't even that. Wasn't even that. I just didn't sleep very much. Okay, let's go ahead and get into this first story here. We're going to get a little bit of an update from the Middle East from yesterday and the day before first. So let's go ahead and bring this up and we'll quickly get into that real quick. I don't know why my fucking screen started lagging. There we go. Here we go. All right. We're only going to get a little bit of this because this is a lead up to where we are right now, right?
Let's talk about the Middle East. CENTCOM posting these images in recent days showing troops conducting small arms training, working in combat information centers, and performing flight missions to enforce the U.S. blockade against Iran. As of August 5th, the U.S. military says that it has redirected 48 commercial vessels, disabled 2 of those vessels, and boarded another 2. Today, Iran also saying that it's in the final stage of drafting an agreement with Oman over the Strait of Hormuz. President Trump, meanwhile, says a deal could be announced in the coming days. I believe it was just yesterday that we were listening into one of his gaggles outside of Air Force One. The press was asking him what's the status of the negotiations with Iran. He said that we would have clarity sometime within the next 2 days. Let's bring in Professor Alon Burstein to discuss the latest on what we do and what we don't know about everything going on overseas. Alon, let's start with this deal that the Iranians and the Omanis are reportedly working on.
Yeah, and that's going to be, I mean, that's Oman really stabbing us in the back completely, where they're going, okay, well, we were partner up with the United States. We're going to make this happen. Well, now Oman is starting to go, well, we don't really see any, we only see the strait being closed. We don't see any type of resolution to this. So Oman is basically going over with the IRGC, with Iran, and making a deal to where they get to split revenue when passage happens through the Strait of Hormuz. So we're essentially getting stabbed in the back by Oman.
What do we know about it? I'm assuming...
Real quick before Alon gets into it, we got brother Steve Easy coming in with the 31 months, by the way. Smash that like. Mike worked hard as fuck. That's yes. Make sure you guys hit that like button, double tap that screen if you guys are on the vertical side. Very much appreciate it. And thank you, Steve Easy, for that 31 months. That's legendary, bro. Thank
Very
you.
little.
Thank you for having me, Austin. We know less than usual. I will say usually, and people who follow your channel closely,
which of course we're going to know less than usual. They're having their own private discussions.
And our reports know that most of the time when we have breaking news, you see me watching my phone because it's constant leaks that are coming out.
Yes.
We actually know less than usual. Usually there are different news outlets that are very, very good at gathering the information very quickly. Here, what we have is mostly official statements. Even though looking...
Yeah, usually Reuters or Associated Press are usually pretty quick to be able to announce anything on a global scale, like shape-shifting of the world. They really are good at doing that. And he's right. There really wasn't a lot of information coming out at first. Now, we have a little bit more information now, but not extreme.
Statements, we can gain some clarity. So just to situate for viewers what it is that the Iranians and the Omanis are talking about. So this is the Strait of Hormuz over here, and really the two countries.
And what he's about to get into right now is basically this, what I have right here. So this was the original setup for the shipping routes for... Well, you see the red there. That's the IRGC's shipping route. And as you guys can see, the inbound traffic into the strait goes in between the Larik Island and Kesem Island. And that's a great way for them to basically collect tolls. That's why they have it set up that way. Now, as you guys can see down below, where the gray shipping routes are, that's the United States shipping route and / the Omanis, right? So it's both of our shipping route in... that's us working together. Now we're kind of getting a little bit of stab in the back where it's like, well, these guys are going to flip over there to the IRGC.
That border it are Iran, obviously, and Oman over here. And what the crux of what the sides are talking about now is how are these two countries going to administer traffic through the straits? Now, it's important to note, prior to the war, there were 3 different routes that you could go through the straits. There was a route that went through Iranian territory.
Yes, and that's what I was just showing you. And then you'd have the one that just I showed you as well, the Omanian side and the United States shipping routes. And then there's that very center that no one ever talks about, which is actually considered a shipping route that they have classified.
Territorial waters, the route that went through Omani territorial waters,
and right in the
route that
middle
went through international waters. And all these were open to everyone. What Iran has tried to impose and seemingly is succeeding is that after the war, it's no longer going to be a free-for-all. The traffic is going to be regulated. And according to most reports, the last report was from Ismail Baqi, the actual spokesperson of Iran's foreign ministry. What was reported is that what they're negotiating is that each one of these is going to be a one-way route.
Yes.
All traffic coming into the Strait of Hormuz and up to the Persian Gulf is going to go through the Irani route, and all traffic exiting will go through the Omani route. That's meant to do 2 things.
Yeah, it's meant for them to be able to collect tolls whenever they want, and then the same thing on the other side for the
One,
Omans.
it's meant to give these countries total control. Iran can cut it off, or Oman can cut it off at any point. There's no two-way traffic that can continue the flow of international commerce. And 2, it's meant to say there is no more international waterway here. There is a theoretical one, according to international law, but in practice, they're not going to let ships pass through there. Now, according to what's been reported in a lot of different news outlets, AP, Reuters, and etc., is that Iran is also, as part of this deal, saying, and there are going to be service charges, not taxes, not levies, service charges, security for the ships that are going through that Iran would provide at the rate of between 5 to 7% of each ship, of the cargo worth of each ship going through. According to those reports, Oman has said they would like the taxes to be more 3%. And obviously there's the questions of what the United States wants, which is 0%. But the biggest aspect to take away from these negotiations, I would say, is less about the nitty-gritty, because we don't know. Again, we will know if and when it's signed.
Right.
It's the fact that ostensibly the United States is cut out. Like, this was started.
Yes, and that is us getting. That's what I mean by us getting stabbed in the back.
A war between the United States, Iran, and Israel, and then turned into a memorandum of understanding and negotiations between the United States and Iran about how the Strait of Hormuz would be. And now Iran and Oman are deciding on a deal between them. They're not asking the United States, what do you think of it? And the United States is not actually party to this deal. So what happens next pretty much depends on those countries as far as they're concerned.
Right. And so that's basically all I need to get off of that right there, just so we have an update from a day and a half ago kind of thing. So now we're going to go ahead and move on. We got a few other things that we got to get into here. Tanker reports explosion in Strait of Hormuz as Iran denies deal with the United States. Let's go ahead and pop this up real quick. This came out, I think, the day before as well.
Right now, as I mentioned, we are following all of the latest coming in out of the Middle East. And there on the right-hand side of your screen, you can see a live look over the Strait of Hormuz with a lot of different vessels that are pretty much staying still at this point. And that's what we've seen as the strait has remained closed. And I'm going to pop this up to give you a better look at that map coming in from marine traffic. Now, President Trump is saying that a deal could be announced as soon as this week to reopen the strait. No surprise here, though. Iran is again denying that, saying that it is in the final stage of drafting an agreement with Oman over the strait, but that it only concerns shipping routes, not the reopening of that entire waterway. This is coming in from Iran International English, as this morning, the Secretary of Iranian Parliament.
So anytime that Iran International English, just that's basically Iranian state TV, but just translated to English.
Its National Security and Foreign Policy Committee adds that the strait will remain closed until the U.S. lifts its naval blockade, the U.S. leaves the region, and threats against Iran come to an end. All of that, of course, something that President Trump and the Pentagon insist will not be happening. In the meantime, a tanker reported hearing 2 explosions while traveling through the strait. That was earlier today. And again, the information from Iran International English, the UK Maritime Trade Operation, saying that it happened about 9 nautical miles southeast of Kumzar, Oman. The UK MTO initially classified this as an attack, but later downgraded it to an advisory, and review determined that the intended target could not be conclusively identified. So it still could have been an attack, but all of that at this point is...
What's up, brother sick bastard? Good morning to you, by the way.
Unclear. Also, vessels in that area advised, as they have been now for weeks, to travel with caution. I want to bring in Ari Chikaral, JINSA's Associate Director of Foreign Policy, to talk much more about everything playing out there in the Middle East. Ari, thank you so much for taking the time to join us here on this Thursday morning.
Now, I appreciate this guy coming up, but really he's just going to reiterate what we just were looking at there. No real need to do that because obviously also this is somewhat old news. Because we're leading up into current time right now. Okay, we've got this chronological setup. Okay, so another one of these things that if we would have gone live yesterday, which unfortunately I did not, I would have presented this news story right here. This was breaking yesterday. North Korea launches suspected ballistic missile. Let's go ahead and bring this up and figure out what is going on with this.
My name is Josh Breslow, and I want to get...
Oh, you know what? Before we get into this, you know what? I think everybody needs to embrace their fuck-ups.
Don't beat yourself up over past mistakes. You are going to fuck up again in the future, quite possibly in a most spectacular fashion. Why worry about yesterday's fuck-ups when you have tomorrow's fuck-ups to look forward to? You are a fuck-up, and fucking up is part of your growth process. Embrace the process.
We shall always embrace the process here at Insane Wheels. Of course. Of course. Also, money me. You know, you guys, we haven't done the money part.
All right, just get the money part done.
Give me money. Money me. Money now. Me a money needing a lot now.
Now that's actual factuals, ladies and gentlemen.
Denied.
But I still love you guys. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and play it.
Back to some breaking news that we have been following involving Japan issuing that alert after North Korea launched a suspected ballistic missile. Popping this up
real quick before he gets into it. We got Richard Smith in the chat saying good morning. And Tootie Bug says, finally got home, Mikey. You're my favorite news disher. I appreciate that, by the way. We got Mark as well. Good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat. Hopefully you're enjoying the morning so far. Definitely know that we are, as well as brother G-O-G-E-G. I don't know why I was about to say G-O-G. Anyways, here we go.
Screen right here. This is the initial statement that came in from Japan's Prime Minister's office. This was just a couple hours ago, as they said, emergency alert. North Korea has launched a suspected ballistic missile. More updates to follow. Now, we are learning from South Korea's military, though. They believe this was a short-range ballistic missile that was fired toward the sea, again, just hours ago, resuming the weapons tests days before the U.S. and South Korea begin their annual military drills that North Korea views as an invasion rehearsal. The launch from North Korea's eastern coastal area was detected around 5 p.m. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff saying that was local time, of course, and explaining that South Korea's military has bolstered its surveillance posture and is closely coordinating with the U.S. and Japan. Now, we have some of these images that I do want to pop up.
Shit. What's up, No Grow? Good morning to you.
Here on your screen really briefly. These were actually provided from earlier on this year as Kim Jong-un toward a munitions factory.
Don't I have a soundbite for that? That's good enough.
Bruh. There with hopes of gaining more aerial weapons. And that was his third visit to a weapons factory there in North Korea over the course of a 3-week period. Very likely that he visited others in the coming days. But again, that was from earlier on this year. Now, Japan's defense ministry said North Korea fired that ballistic missile, but there was no impact in or around Japan, where the Coast Guard urged ships around the coast.
So what did it do? Just land in the water, really?
Use caution and notify authorities if there were any fallen objects that were found. The ballistic missile launch was North Korea's first since late June, when it tested a tactical ballistic missile with a, quote, special mission warhead and other weapons. After watching the testing activities, leader Kim Jong-un underscored the need to bolster the military's, quote, deadly and destructive.
Now, that shit made me laugh, Steve Easy. Yes, my grift game has always sucked. I'm not very good at grifting. I got to admit, you know, low tier level of grifting.
Offensive posture. Again, all of this developing here at this hour, but Thursday's launch also came ahead of a large-scale annual exercise to be conducted by the U.S. and South Korean militaries. That is set for later this month. U.S. and South Korean officials say the training is defensive in nature, but North Korea says the maneuvers are a practice invasion and often responds with its own missile tests and warlike rhetoric. South Korean and U.S. officials haven't formally released details about this year's joint exercise, but the drills are typically held in the latter part of the month of August. Of course, we just started the month 6 days ago. Kim has been focusing on enlarging its nuclear and missile arsenals since his high-stakes diplomacy with U.S. President Trump collapsed in 2019. Experts saying that Kim wants international recognition as a nuclear state so that he can demand the lifting of international economic sanctions on North Korea. The United Nations Security Council resolutions ban North Korea from launches involving its huge stockpile of ballistic missiles. Tests of other weapons, including cruise missiles and artillery systems, are not banned, but experts say they still pose a threat to South Korea.
Hell yeah, Barbie. Appreciate that, by the way. The 200 joules making it rain in the chat. That's awesome. Good morning to you, and happy Felony Friday to you. Good to see you.
And to the U.S. Now, in early July, Kim supervised tests of a nuclear-capable cruise missile aboard a new 5,000-ton destroyer. After years of prioritizing ballistic missile development, Kim has increasingly turned his focus to naval capabilities, including the construction of a nuclear-powered submarine. In recent years, Kim has boosted his diplomatic credentials by expanding ties with Russia. North Korea has supplied conventional weapons and troops to Russia.
And troops, yeah.
To support that war.
And North Korean troops in the Russian war, they were supposed to be support roles kind of thing. And Putin had them on the front line, and they fucking were actually devastating. They actually did a crazy job
against Ukraine.
Objectively.
Kim also pushing to deepen cooperation with China, the North's economic pipeline.
No way.
Chinese President Xi Jinping visited the North Korean capital in June for the first time in 7 years. In response to Trump's repeated outreach to restart diplomacy, Kim has suggested talks can resume if the U.S. drops its demand for North Korean denuclearization as a precondition. Popping this up on your screen once again, this is coming in from Japan's Prime Minister's office as they issued more information about that alert, saying, quote, dedicate maximum effort to gather and analyze information and provide the public with information in a timely and appropriate manner, ensure the safety of aircraft, vessels, and other assets, take all possible...
What's up, Tiffany? Good morning, by the way. Great to see you in the chat.
...measures for precaution, including readiness for contingencies. Now, this was the instruction by the Prime Minister in response to that suspected ballistic missile launch, and you have this post from the Associated Press. It says, breaking, South Korea says North Korea has launched an unidentified projectile toward the waters off the North's east coast. North Korea has been focusing on enlarging its nuclear and missile arsenals since diplomacy with the U.S. collapsed in 2019. We'll keep an eye on all of these developments as we're likely to get some more information as the...
All right. And of course, we're also focusing, we're going to be looking at all of these stories that we bring up. Of course, we do our due diligence and following all of it, right? Okay, so we have, this was breaking yesterday. Senate committee holds Fauci in contempt of Congress and now heads to the DOJ. All right. It's part of the thumbnail today. Let me know what you guys think. And yes, we are at a deal stalled situation. We're going to get into that this morning here very soon. All right, let's go and see what this all means, being in contempt of Congress here. There we go.
And we'd be open to seeing that, but would like to do this without objection.
Without objection. Seeing no other motions, the question is on reporting of an original resolution regarding...
If I may, Mr. Chairman. Go ahead.
Seeing no other motions, the question is on reporting of an original resolution regarding contempt of Congress. The clerk will call the roll.
We got shut down by that woman. Did you see that? She was like, yeah, you're not going to do that right now.
Oh, shit! Oh, shit!
What? That got caught on film, too.
Senator Johnson.
Yes.
Senator Langford.
Aye.
Senator Scott.
Yes.
Senator Hawley.
Aye.
Senator Moreno.
On behalf of the millions of people harmed by Anthony Fauci, resoundingly yes.
Senator Ernst. Aye. Senator Moody. Senator Peters.
No.
Senator Hassan.
No.
Senator Blumenthal.
No.
Senator Fetterman.
No.
Senator Kim.
No.
Senator Gallego.
No by proxy.
Senator Slotkin.
No by proxy.
Senator Paul.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, on the vote of those present, the yeas are 8, the nays are 5. On the vote by proxy, and for the record only, the yeas are
What's up, Lindsey Smith? Good morning to you and happy Felony Friday.
0, the nays are 2. On this vote, the yeas are 8, the nays are 5, and the motion is agreed to.
Mr. Chairman, pursuant
I've
to committee rule.
recognized you.
Damn, it's getting heated up in this motherfucker. Hold on, I gotta play that back. That guy tried to butt in again. Hold on.
0, the nays are 2. On this vote, the yeas are 8, the nays are 5, and the motion is agreed to.
Mr. Chairman, pursuant
I've
to committee rule.
recognized you.
Mr. Chairman.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit! Oh,
Ample remarks on this. The chair will limit remarks to 2 minutes. I will give you another chance to state your opinion, which has been amply stated. You have 2 minutes.
Well, Mr. Chairman, pursuant to Committee Rule 6B and Senate Rule...
Did you see that bitch pop out from underneath the little podium there? She was like, it almost looked like to me she was coming out from under the desk, you know, I'm just saying it looked like.
Amply stated. You have 2 minutes.
But she was
Well,
right
Mr.
there.
Chairman, pursuant to
Look,
Committee Rule...
she's like, oh yeah, come down here. Oh,
Rule
shit.
6B and Senate Rule 26, Section 10C, I'm notifying you that I intend to file minority views regarding this resolution.
The clerk will report the conclusion of the vote,
Just did.
and that it is reported favorably. The committee will now proceed to consideration of S4505, a bill to
What's up, Extra Surprise? Good morning, Baker in the chat.
require the U.S. Postal Service to designate zip codes for certain communities. Senator Ernst.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. All right, so we just watched live there on Capitol Hill this Senate committee voting to hold Dr. Anthony Fauci in contempt of Congress. This all coming after he didn't answer questions last week pertaining to the COVID-19 pandemic. He invoked his Fifth Amendment right over 100 times. So this is this breaking news that we're following here in Washington, D.C. And of course, we're waiting to see on social media if we're going to get any lawmaker reaction here coming out of Capitol Hill. But once again, this Senate committee voting to hold Dr. Fauci in contempt of Congress. What does that mean? Contempt of Congress.
Yes, and now it's going to end up heading over to the DOJ for their consideration.
Refers to the act of defying Congress by ignoring a subpoena or refusing to cooperate with an investigation. Now, this can include not showing up for a hearing, refusing to testify, or failing to turn over requested records. But once again, this all coming here after we saw Dr. Fauci invoke that Fifth Amendment.
I don't know why he doesn't just fucking do it. He's the dude is a pardoned. You know, he can say whatever, like the 100% truth, and he's not going to get punished for it. Just say it. Just say what happened, yo. It's over, right? You're going to fucking try to die with this secret? Yeah, you're going to try, you know. Anyways, we got Senator Mitch McConnell discharged from rehab. All right, let's go ahead and see the shape of this man.
Okay, we need to pull away
if we have any pictures, or I mean, it would be nice, but of course, you know how it is.
This because we have some breaking news to get to here at Live Now from Fox. Former Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has been discharged from rehab, but is not likely to return before the August recess. We have this from Chad Pergam over at Fox News saying this: breaking, McConnell discharged from rehab, doubtful to come back before fall.
Real quick before he reads the rest of this, Mike, did you see anything about the new THC laws in Texas? Yes, it's crazy. It's fucking crazy. They went after, you know, all the Delta 9 stuff. That's really what they were going after. They're cracking down on the Delta 9, all that fake weed shit that you would see in like, you know, smoke shops or whatever the case is. That's really what they're targeting. But yeah, essentially it's what happened here in Alabama as well. And that happened, that must have been late last year when it changed. And so Texas did the same thing. And for them now, I mean, you get caught with like a joint, you're fucked. And see, it's crazy because here where we live, you're better off actually getting caught. If you get caught, you're better off saying this is real weed than you saying, hey, this is the stuff I got at the smoke shop. That's felony level shit. When you have normal weed, that's not going to be a felony level shit, you know, here. But if you get the fake weed shit, it is. And yes, it is House Bill 445, by the way. And trust me, we campaigned on it, campaigned against HB 445 during our entire campaign from start to end. And we still are avidly, obviously, against it.
So, fall from McConnell. Earlier today, I was discharged from the rehabilitation center to continue my recovery at home. Elaine and I are grateful for the many well wishes and support from friends, colleagues.
It would be super nice to get a picture or video of you saying this.
And Kentuckians, and for the attentive care I received from excellent doctors, nurses, therapists, and hospital staff. On the advice of my doctors, I'll maintain an intensive regime of physical therapy from home during the state work period, which is another word for the August recess. And I'll continue to engage with my staff and colleagues on important Senate business. So if the vote on Todd Blanche does happen before August recess, it appears that McConnell now officially will not be there for that. I'm Ryan Schmelzer watching Live Now from Fox. When we come back, we may head out to a press conference involving Jaylen Brown.
All right, so that's enough. That's all they give him was they give the dude a minute coverage, 1 minute, literally 60 seconds, and saying, oh, well, everything's great. We're out of recovery. You know, we're out from rehab, and these fucking people, dude. I just can't. I can't stand our environment, the landscape of politics. It's gross. I hate it, but that's why I'm involved in it, because I hate it. I want to see it change. I want to see people actually thrive, not these fucking. Okay, I'm gonna calm down. President Trump signs executive orders on birthright citizenship. This happened yesterday. This actually a humongous deal. go ahead and figure out what's going on
We
with this.
do want to continue on with our top stories. And in fact, right now, speaking live there in the White House, we have this vantage point of President Trump. This shot just now came into our newsroom. Let's pop up the audio and listen in.
I don't know. That's crazy,
Thank you
Lindsay.
very much. We have a few subjects that we're going to discuss, all important, but one in particular important having to do with birthright citizenship. And Will, if you would, maybe you could we'll start it off with what Howard's going to be discussing.
So a short while ago, sir, you signed an order relating.
Yeah, not just that, Steve, but the way that Florida does with their marijuana laws, it's all bullshit too. They designed it to make it where it's only legal if you buy the state's weed. So that's it. You know, you have to get the state's shit, and we're not. See, the difference is when you can pass medical, you know, without it being 100% a state thing. But unfortunately, the way that they designed it, it's only their bud, not any other, you know, it's really, they're picking and choosing winners and losers. And I fucking hate that. It should be a free market. If you're going to have this as a business and people are legally allowed to do it, you can't have it specialized to just your people. Fuck that.
To the polysilicon industry. This is a series of trade and tariff actions under Section.
What's up, Jack Talcott? My man, good morning. We're about to watch him sign a executive order right now on birthright citizenship.
232, intended to ensure that domestic polysilicon manufacturing is properly supported and protected from overseas dumping and offshore threats. Howard can speak more to the details, but polysilicon is incredibly important in the chip making industry and a number of other industries as well. And like many of your previous trade actions, sir, this is intended to ensure that we're onshoring manufacturing capacity, that we're onshoring our own supply of critical products, and that we're protecting American industry from malign foreign actors in that space.
Thank you.
So polysilicon is sort of the foundational product that makes.
Yeah, see, Mark, they don't allow you to grow your own weed. Like in context of Florida, what we were just talking about there, like you're forced to go buy it from the store. You're not allowed to grow it yourself at all.
Silicon wafers that become the AI chips and the chips that are in our phones and everything. So the president's policies have brought 50% of production into America. But we need the foundational products made here. Otherwise, you know, we're making the products here, but we need the supply chain here. So this will bring the supply chain here. We're setting prices so that the Chinese can't dump anymore. And we're setting tariffs to say, build it here. We've got the industry here. It's too small, and it's going to explode under your leadership.
And we're having massive numbers of, I guess you'd call them factories.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing here. We're theoretically in Alabama too, right? You know what I mean? But I'm just going to light up my counterclockwise tobacco now, right? Perfect. Now we're ready.
There are plans built having to do with the manufacturing of chips more than we've ever had before. Intel, we're very proud of. They've done incredible. They've really been an incredible company. But we're doing some unbelievable business. Chips will have a big percentage of the chip business by the time I leave office, which could be a long time. Who knows? But it could also be fairly quick. They say 2.5 years. We're going to find out. But I just want to say that it's an honor to have worked with a very smart group of people. And we're bringing the chip business back into the United States in a very big way. Jameson, do you have anything to say about that?
Sir, I think you need to put this in the context of everything else that's happening. Manufacturing productivity is the highest it's been in years. We haven't seen any growth like this for forever. Under President Biden, the last part of his presidency, he lost 220,000 manufacturing jobs. The president has stabilized this. Now the manufacturing jobs are going up. So all of these indicators on manufacturing are happening. And it's because of tariffs. It's because of trade actions. It's because of the investment credits you've given people, the tax credits, everything you're doing, the energy policy. All of it is bringing manufacturing back here, protecting American workers and American jobs.
Well, tariffs are bringing it.
Okay, it'd be nice if we could actually get into, you know, the actual signing of this, but they're going to monologue for a minute.
There's hundreds of billions of dollars worth of dollars.
Charlie Rose, good morning.
Money that we've never seen anything like it with no inflation. By the way, everyone said, oh, there'll be inflation. We have very low inflation. We brought inflation way down. I inherited the worst inflation in the history of our country. They say 48 years, but I say the history of our country and from the Biden administration. And we're bringing it way down. So
real quick, let's hit the like button, everybody, like Virginia Chaos says. Absolutely. Double tap that screen if you guys are on the vertical side. I very much appreciate it. You guys don't have to like all the craziness around the world, but you guys can like it for me and what we're doing here. So thank you guys for that.
The numbers that I mean, beyond the money being brought in, the number of factories being built in our country is more now than we have ever seen before. There's never been anything like it. and you're going to see the results. And you're seeing the results already in construction jobs because they're being built all over the country. But in another year, as they start to open, there's never been, we call it the golden age of America. That's what it is. Now, if we could talk, Steve, maybe you could discuss what we're dealing with on birthright citizenship. We had a very unfortunate decision in the Supreme Court concerning birthright. It was close, but a very, very unfortunate decision. So we're making adjustments because it's very unfair. This was done for a different reason. This was done right after the Civil War. This was for the babies of slaves.
Yes,
and
that's exactly right. He's factually right about that.
What's happening now, if people are building businesses around it, from wealthy people are building businesses around birthright citizenship. That's not the way it's supposed to work. It's a disgrace. They're buying their way in. And we're not.
That's exactly what he was alluding to when he said factories. Yeah, data centers. And honestly, dude, I can't believe that any of us are pro data center, to be real. We got Lindsey Smith saying we're low on defense missiles, Mike. Yes, I'm very aware of that.
I'm going to let it happen.
Facts.
So, Steve, if you will, please.
Yes, so today the president signed these two executive orders here relating to birthright citizenship and birth tourism. As the president mentioned, the 14th Amendment was passed exclusively in the aftermath of the Civil War to ensure that the children of slaves would be citizens. It had no other meaning and purpose outside of that. And that's been clear, obviously, since the day that it was passed. You can go back and you can read the congressional debates. This is not something that's even seriously contested by anybody. The president is using his authority as commander-in-chief to sign first an executive order using the new ruling the Supreme Court issued to expand the definitions of people who are ineligible for birthright citizenship. That includes, for example, alien enemies of the United States, members of foreign terrorist organizations, and large categories of people who lobby and act on behalf of foreign governments. And so with taking this action, it ensures that large numbers of people who wrongly would be getting birthright citizenship will no longer be eligible for those benefits. The second action that he's taking, which is especially historic, is for the first time ever in American history.
What's up, Wildcard? My man, good morning.
To ban birth tourism. So I want you to really let that sink in. This has been something that people have talked about not only for years, but for decades. The idea that people come here pretending to be a tourist, pretending to be a visitor, saying they want to go to Disneyland, they want to go visit a monument or go to a national park. But the real reason they're here is to have a child, to make that child an automatic citizen.
We're talking about anchor babies. Yes, come on. Oh, shit! Get on with it. We know.
Country, and then have a U.S. citizen child. It gives them access under this broken system to welfare benefits, ultimately to the voting booth, and all the other rights and privileges that belong solely to Americans. So that practice of birth tourism is, as of the signing of this order, hereby banned. And what that means is that no one in the world is any more allowed to obtain a visa for this fraudulent purpose. It is probably, and President Trump has done many historic things on immigration, too many to list now, seal the southern border shut, record deportations, record integrity, stopping foreign terrorist entry.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're right about that, Steve Easy, because as soon as the next administration comes in, that is, I mean, it doesn't even matter if this next cycle, it's another Republican, but eventually, once it goes over to, the other side, they're going to executive order against that, and unfortunately it's just a temporary fix. And unless you can get Congress and the Supreme Court to approve this shit, unfortunately it's not going to stick forever. Right.
Record reduction in drug seizures, dismantling the criminal cartels, dismantling the gangs, right? Everything he's done that has been so unprecedented. I would put this in the top 3 in terms of importance because it ends what has been one of the gravest and most egregious abuses of the American system, and it keeps American citizenship sacred.
Thank you. Okay.
Mr. President.
Big stuff. That's a big deal. Please, go ahead.
Thank you. On the birth tourism executive order, what are the plans for enforcement in terms of cracking down on birth tourism hotels this common in
So we're cracking down very big crackdowns, and this will give us the
bigly crackdown
right to do it in a much more forceful manner. But they've taken birthright citizenship and they've made a joke out of it, and we're actually the only country of size, I think just about the only country, period, that does birthright citizenship. I thought we were going to win it at the Supreme Court. Unfortunately, we had a bad decision. Very unfair decision. Our country suffers because of it, and we're ending it a different way.
Mr. President, at the Supreme Court, John Sauer, the Solicitor General, did not have an answer as to how many individuals take advantage of birth tourism. Is there a number that you can
I'll tell you right now, hundreds of thousands, okay? Hundreds of thousands. You have one man came in with a family, said he had 56 children. Another one came in, they said they had 98 children. This was not what it was for. This was meant for the babies of slaves. It was right after 1 week or 2 weeks after the Civil War ended. This wasn't for wealthy multi-millionaires, billionaires coming in
and we're talking about the 14th Amendment here. And yes, that the actual reason for what it was made for was for the babies of slaves. Objectively, I mean that's historically what it is. Unfortunately, the Supreme Court read it differently.
bringing 15, 20, 30 children along with them. It's become a big business, and we're ending that business, please.
What makes you confident, Mr. President, that this will pass constitutional muster?
I think it will. I think, in fact, I asked a very talented person named Will Scharf, who's standing right behind me. Do you want to discuss that, Will? You felt pretty strongly about it.
The law is absolutely clear. What we're talking about, as Stephen said, with respect to birth tourism, something that used to happen incidentally, where somebody who happened to be on vacation here went into labor early and had a baby. This was sort of a relatively small problem. What we've seen in recent years, though, is organized rings, at times criminal rings, setting up a system whereby tens, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of people can come to this country in an organized fashion and give birth here purely for the sake of obtaining birthright citizenship. This order takes a number of different actions intended to combat those sorts of organized practices. We look very heavily at denying visas to people that we have reason to believe are coming here for that purpose. Visas both for putative parents, but also for the people organizing these rings. There's also obviously a law enforcement component. We'll have a full fact sheet released on this soon, but what we're doing is taking legally validated means that are clearly within our disposal and targeting them square on to this birth tourism industry. There's absolutely nothing in here that runs afoul of any of the Supreme Court's opinions on the subject. This is frankly, it's action that's overdue. And I'm thankful that President Trump is finally taking decisive action to combat this issue of birth tourism now that it's been queued up in the way that it has as a result of the Supreme Court's opinion.
This should have been done a long time ago. This should have happened years ago, but we're taking care of it now, please.
Thank you. Can you help us understand how you distinguish between a tourist and a birth tourist?
Well, I'll let you discuss it, please.
Yes, happy to. And so, by the way, that's an excellent presentation.
Thank you, Stephen.
For those of you who want to do your research on this, Section 215A of the Immigration and Nationality Act gives the president this authority. 215A of the Immigration and Nationality Act. Very rarely used, probably one of the strongest laws in the entire federal code, gives him this power. And that's not the only, but it's the main statutory authority that's being used in this order. So birth tourism is by definition a fraud on the American system, on the American taxpayer, on the American visa. If you're coming here, and again, your stated purpose is that you're a tourist, then by definition, you are here to come for a few weeks, look what we have, engage in commerce and leave. So if you're telling a consular officer you're here as a tourist, but your true purpose and intent is to go to a baby mill, give birth, and try to mint an American citizen while you're here, then you're committing a fraud against the American government. And by definition, that visa can and should and will be now denied.
No, I've got them sped up on 1.25, by the way. So,
Mr. President, there was a report that you told donors that they need to get J.D. Vance elected in 2028. Is that your official endorsement?
No, it's. I heard about it a little while ago. I think he's great, but we're way too early to even be thinking about that. Okay.
And Mr. President, Republicans are arguing a lot right now about affordability. What is your message on affordability going into the midterm?
Well, that's a good question, but it's sort of simple to answer. I inherited the highest prices ever. I inherited the worst inflation in the history of our country, and we have done an amazing job. And oil prices now are coming down very rapidly. If you look at what's going on, it's down to 75. When I started the very important excursion into the Islamic Republic of Iran, it was a very important excursion because they can't have a nuclear weapon. Otherwise, the whole world would get blown up. We're not going to let that happen. Not only us, not only the Middle East, the whole world would have been catastrophic. We had no choice. And we had oil down to less than two in many places like Iowa. Oil was down to, gasoline was down at numbers that people hadn't seen in years. $1.85, $1.95 for the past Tuesday. I was in Iowa at a stop, and we had $1.95, another one, $1.85 a gallon. And we'll see those days pretty soon again, based on everything I see, as soon as the war ends. And
the cheapest I personally saw it here was in northern Alabama, because when I moved here, it was during the worst of the worst. So like we were spending anywhere from $5 to $7 a gallon. I mean, that's where it was in Southern California. And the worst it ever got to was like $7 and I think it was like 35 cents or 40 cents, something like that. Anyways, yeah, it is fucking crazy. And then when I moved here, the cheapest it was during that time, when Trump took over and all that shit, and oil was fairly cheap in the beginning. It was like $2.20 a gallon, $2.50 in that area.
I think it's going to end pretty soon. I don't think they can.
What's up, Chad Stacks? Good morning.
Has a deal been reached to reopen the Strait of Hormuz?
Well, I don't want to say it has been. It's sort of open right now. You know, we have a thing called the blockade headed up by the U.S. Navy, and we control it. And now we control it, but they can always shoot something. They always have something or drop a mine. And if you have one mine sitting out there, you sort of mess things up because people don't want to take their billion-dollar boats and accidentally get hit by a mine. But I think we're doing very well. I just, you know, I'm involved in the negotiation. I think we're doing fine. It could be said, yeah.
Mr. President, have you lobbied any of the undecided Republicans who will vote tomorrow on Todd Blanche's nomination?
I will lobby if I need to. I will lobby very, very diligently because he's outstanding. He should be good. I mean, I can't imagine he's as good as there is in the country. People have such unbelievable respect for Todd Blanche. So hopefully that won't be necessary. I spoke to some people. I did. But hopefully it'll all work out very well for the country because you're not going to find better than Todd Blanche.
Will you reach out to Senator Murkowski, Senator Cassidy, for instance?
Let's see if we need anybody. I'll reach out to whoever I have to, but anybody voting against him would be doing a great disservice to the country, please.
Mr. President, the deadline for Representative Max Miller to withdraw from his race is coming up next week. Do you believe he should withdraw?
Well, I'm not going to get involved in that. It's a very sad situation, and I know Max very well, but it's very, very sad that a situation like that takes place. Yeah.
Do you think the DOJ should prosecute
Non-answer.
Dr. Fauci?
Well, you know, they prosecuted.
Oh, that's a yes. That's what we were talking about earlier when we showed that the Senate committee had basically come up with the vote and found Fauci in contempt of Congress.
Yeah.
And so then it'll be moved over to the DOJ.
To get involved in that. It's a very sad
on
Dr. Fauci?
a situation like that takes
There we
place.
go.
Yeah.
Do you think the DOJ should prosecute Dr. Fauci?
Well, you know, they prosecuted Peter Navarro and they prosecuted Steve Bannon, two very decent people, over something that essentially was never prosecuted before. And there are sort of telltale signs of similarity. And they went to jail for a number of months over something that I saw one of the analysts said they used to laugh at it in the Justice Department when something like that was referred. But Merrick Garland prosecuted two very decent people and sent them to jail. I wasn't president. I would have given them a pardon in 2 seconds, but I wasn't. It was after I left. They waited till after I left, and then they prosecuted these two people, and they ought to be ashamed of themselves. So when you see that happen, you sort of say maybe he should. What he did is far more serious than a lot of crimes, frankly. But they prosecuted two people when nothing like that has ever taken place before.
Man, we're going to have a lot of overtime today.
Mr. President, on munitions, you posted overnight that the U.S. has a massive amount, and
right.
You denied that there were any shortages. There is a supplemental request for $21 billion to restock. So why is that request still there? If there's
Well, because we need more all the time. I mean, we need more. Look, we gave tremendous amount to Ukraine. The Biden people did. And they were given free of charge. No charge. No charge. Billions, hundreds of billions of dollars. And fortunately, I built up so much during my term. I rebuilt the military and also loaded it up with a lot of stuff. And we have certain types of munitions that are very powerful, that we have unlimited, virtual unlimited supply. We have others where it's a little bit tighter, and we're getting them in on a daily basis. As you know, our defense companies are building more plants right now than at any point in history. They're building plants for the Patriots, for the Tomahawks, for everything. But we have certain types of munitions, which are very, they may not be as accurate. They may not be, they're not as elite. We have elite too, but we're watching that very closely. But we have certain types which are very powerful and very good, and we have an unlimited supply, and so we're in great shape. But with that being said, we always want more. We have to have more. We have other things maybe come up, and maybe don't come up. Hopefully nothing else does come up, but we're in very good shape. We have literally massive amounts of ammunition. Yeah.
Mr. President, on Ukraine, President Zelensky says his country desperately needs long-range missiles or those.
Here, I got you, homie.
Stop the cap. Patriot missile batteries. Is that something that you're...
Well, I mean, we want missiles too. When Biden gave him so much, Biden gave $300 billion worth of ammunition. When I left, it was full, and he gave a lot of it away. Now we're rebuilding it, and we're using munitions that are very powerful, very good, but we wouldn't have been using them. We could have used something else. But these are a little bit older type, equally as effective. And it's things that we have so much. Plus, we have supplies of munitions all over the world that if we ever needed them, we'd take that. We're supplied all over the world, but we're in very, very good shape.
Russia seems to have increased their attacks on
I know.
civilian areas.
Yeah, I know.
That must be a concern to you, Mr. President.
Well, look, we're not involved from the standpoint. We're separated by an ocean. But I hate to see 25,000 young people a month get killed, and that's what's happening. Between Russia and Ukraine, they're losing on average 25,000, mostly soldiers, a month. And, we're working on it, and I think we're making progress. But it's a violent, very violent war. There's a lot of hatred in that war, a lot of hatred between the two leaders. I settled 8 wars. I thought this would be maybe one of the easier ones, and it turned out to be the most difficult. But progress is being made. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
All right. There we go. So let's go ahead and move on into this next story here. We got bodies found at this Arizona family's home as suspect flees the country. So this is going to be a wild ordeal. It says a shocking development occurred Thursday in the case of a family of 3 missing from their Litchfield Park, Arizona home with the discovery of human remains in the backyard. Quote, our Avondale police detectives, with the assistance of the Phoenix Homicide Unit, are in the process of recovering 2 unidentified bodies in the backyard of this residence. What the fuck? The adult son of the couple who lives there, 27-year-old Matthew Flores, was named as a suspect in their disappearance. And it says, quote, all I can say is that he fled the country. Well, here we go. Let's go ahead and bring this up. Figure out what the fuck is going on here.
Into live now from
Jesus.
Fox. I am Andy Mack. We do want to showcase some live pictures that we're getting in from Southern California, Brentwood to be exact, in the LA area, as a water main break in Brentwood.
Oh,
and this
Jesus Christ. Who cares? What? Why would you even include that in this fucking thing? Yeah, let's get to the real story.
Avondale police say those human remains have yet to be identified, so it's not clear whether they're linked to the couple that police have been searching for. They also say that the suspect in this case, 27-year-old Matthew Flores, has fled the country. A shocking development Thursday in the case of a family of 3 missing from their Litchfield Park home with the discovery of human remains in the backyard.
Our Avondale police detectives, with the assistance of the Phoenix Homicide Unit, are in the process of recovering 2 unidentified bodies in the backyard of this residence.
And the adult son of the couple who lives there, 27-year-old Matthew Flores, named a suspect in their disappearance.
All I can say is that he fled the country.
Investigators have not yet identified the remains and are not naming the missing couple at the family.
So the homie just fled to Mexico or some shit?
His request. But neighbors tell us the family has always seemed pleasant.
The dad there, we see him every once in a while, very, very friendly, but we don't talk too much. Just whenever we see him, we say hello.
Mostly the people that come outside is just the older couple.
Police say a welfare check requested by the family launched the investigation on Tuesday.
Family members of this residence called us reporting that they expected their mother, father, and adult son to be at the residence. Upon arrival to the residence, our Avondale police officers did not locate anyone inside the residence.
Damn, that's a fucking crazy fucking house. That's a big ass house.
Found inside the home alluded to foul play, though they could not tell us how long the family's been missing for or how long the remains have been in the yard.
A large amount of blood and evidence to us that there was an attempt to conceal that.
One neighbor told Fox 10 he did hear a disturbance in the area of the home Tuesday morning.
There was a little bit of yelling, and I don't know exactly who from.
And those who saw investigators digging in the backyard called the whole thing disturbing.
We were pretty spooked by it. We didn't know that was going on just right behind my younger sister's window. And I never thought anything like that would go on around here.
Police could not tell us why they believe Matthew Flores fled the country, only that he is a suspect in this case. Anyone with any information on his whereabouts should contact police. In Litchfield Park, Taylor Wirtz, Fox 10 News.
All right, that's enough of that. Let's see if they actually have anything else in here that is going to be of substance, or because we've got a lot to get through still, and we're already an hour in. So we're going to move on. So salmonella outbreak, linked to the jalapeno. It's like expanding big time. This is something that's been followed by this whole lettuce situation from Mexico that Taco Bell had, and everyone's making jokes about, explosive diarrhea and all that bullshit lately. Well, now for the last week or so, this salmonella outbreak of jalapenos from I'm not really sure where the supply is from, but I do know that Chipotle was using them, and I guess they have replaced that supply from all of their joints or whatever the case, because I saw they made a whole statement on it. But it's saying it's still expanding. So let's
Welcome
see
back
what's
to the
going on
Live
here.
Now from Fox. I'm your host, Anna Marsick. We've talked about it a lot on the news, that outbreak regarding lettuce in Cyclospora that was causing explosive diarrhea. And now another vegetable making headlines, jalapenos linked to a salmonella outbreak. We have this coming from the Washington Post. Hundreds of people in 27 states have been sickened in a salmonella outbreak linked to jalapeno peppers, including at Chipotle and Qdoba restaurants. The CDC said as of Tuesday, 345 cases had been reported.
What is Qdoba? I've never heard of Qdoba restaurants. I don't know what the fuck that is.
With 36 people hospitalized. And, the FDA says these peppers were supplied to restaurants nationwide, which prompted Chipotle and Qdoba to pull the jalapenos from their menus while investigators work to identify the source. So I want to bring into the conversation Dr. Darren Detweiler with Northeastern University to break down what we know so far.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Steve Easy. Jalapenos is one of my favorite things. I'd put that shit on everything,
Thanks for joining us here on Live Now from Fox.
Thank you very much.
So I wanted to start by asking you, can we just walk through how investigators were able to trace this to a single farm and distributor there in Mexico?
Wait, Qdoba is a Chipotle? Oh, it's a Chipotle style restaurant. I see. I got you.
Mexico?
Thank you, John.
Well, technically there's two levels of investigation. One is the public health side. So you'll have sick individuals, and if enough people are sick enough to get medical attention and they're being tested, and now there's reports.
What's up, Mr. Al Patterson? Good morning and happy Felony Friday to you.
Cases of salmonella, they'll start working with their local county and sometimes state health officials to answer questionnaires, which can try to find, okay, where have you eaten? It's never the last thing you ate, but there is a pattern that can.
I do got a question for this guy, though.
Why are you gay? You are gay.
Start to evolve here. And when enough people start to say, oh, we ate this,
Hell
or we ate
yeah,
this
no.
location, or we were doing this kind of a thing, now they start to look for those trends. Meanwhile, you'll have investigators looking at it from the FDA side in this case, looking at where can they find the source of this. They start looking at distributors. They start looking at warehouses. They start looking at the entire supply chain in order to try to find what is the commonality here. So especially when we're dealing with multiple states, when we're dealing with multiple states, it is a collaboration of so many different experts to try to figure out what exactly is the cause and where is this coming from.
Okay, well, we get that. You're reiterating yourself. And he continues on for this whole fucking thing. Wow. I mean, all right, we don't need 11 minutes of you talking about fucking jalapenos being linked to salmonella and all that shit right now. I mean, we get it. All right, we're moving on. Tennessee primary, Marsha Blackburn wins GOP nomination for mayor. Real quick, I'll play this real quick. I'm not going to play the whole thing. If anything, we'll just get a very top of the speech or whatever. But first, then after that, we'll get into some more serious topics. Iran mocks Trump as nuclear weapons, and Strait of Hormuz deal stall. So we got to get into the main story here, which is that. So let me go ahead and bring this up. We'll bring up Tennessee primary real quick, and then we'll get into business.
In as Marsha Blackburn set to come out on the stage as she's having kind of her own Morgan Wallen walk.
Grateful to
Hey, I don't care about her walk up. You know what I mean? Let's just hear the beginnings of it.
Thank you, Tennessee. And absolutely, I am so honored, humbled, grateful to accept your Republican nomination for the office of governor of the state of Tennessee. So this night really does belong to the people of our great state. And I've got a lot of thank yous to say. And first, my family, and Chuck and the kids and the grands, and my brother, sister, my sister-in-law, they're all here to celebrate tonight. So we're excited for them to be here. Yes. And our volunteers. I am so grateful for our volunteers, our prayer warriors, and our door knockers.
Yeah, no kidding. You can't win without your volunteers. I mean, no doubt.
Our phone callers and bankers that were on those phones every day, people that were working social media for us, all of our poll workers, our sign crews, and I hope every one of you have a sign.
Sign crews, man. We built our own. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, we were building our shit ourselves. Sign crews. Oh my God.
And I also want to say a great big thank you to each of you that believed in me. Thank you. I'm grateful for that. And we had a pretty remarkable campaign team, and to all of our campaign team, how about that field staff? I see some of them out here. and of course to Ward and Abby and Sam and
All right, cool. So she's just going to thank everybody here.
I invite you, come join our team. And you know, really, our work is much bigger than any one candidate or one campaign. We absolutely have to unite as a party and defeat the Democrats in November. So
it's hard to unite within the Republican Party because you've got parts of the Republican Party that look at Israel first, and then you've got the other side of the Republican Party that looks at it as America first. And that is the problem. And having to unite is indeed imperative, but it has to be done on American principles. I mean,
my commitment to you is I will continue to work
What's up, Charles? Good morning.
And for you. I'll continue traveling the state, listening to you, earning your trust, and working.
What's up, brother Lee Lance? This is your new, governor who just won the GOP primary.
To build our conservative movement. You know, all elections, every election is important, and this one especially so, that is coming up in November, because the Democrats are just not running on different policies. The Democrats are running to destroy our state and our nation.
Why did they change why did they suddenly change that shit?
We cannot let them get one smidge of momentum in the great state of Tennessee.
All right. Enough of this rhetoric. We're moving on. Let's get into some important shit here. Iran mocks Trump as nuclear weapons and Strait of Hormuz deals stall. All right, let's go ahead and bring this up. We got to all embrace our fuck ups.
Don't beat yourself up over past mistakes. You are going to fuck up again in the future, quite possibly in a most spectacular fashion. Why worry about yesterday's fuck ups when you have tomorrow's fuck ups to look forward to? You are a fuck up, and fucking up is part of your growth process. Embrace the process.
Continue embracing the process here, of course. All right, let's go ahead and bring this up. And shit, I haven't even brought it up yet. So let me go ahead and do that for you guys. 1 second here. 3, 2, 1, bam.
My name is Josh Breslow, and I'll be here for the next several hours as we break down all of your top stories and live events from across the country and across the world. A big thank you to my colleague, Bowen Kudrovich. He has been here with you since early this morning doing the same. Right now, I do want to get you to the latest on the situation between the U.S. and Iran, as there are several different developments here. And of course, a big point of contention has been the Strait of Hormuz, whether it's open or closed, and if a deal can be reached between the U.S. and Iran or Iran and Oman. Again, a lot to this. So what I want to do is pop this up on your screen to give you a look at this image coming in from marine traffic. And as always, you can see a lot of ships out there, but not a lot in the way of movement. Now, we continue to follow all the details because President Trump still says that a deal with Iran to reopen the strait could be.
Yes, that's a fact, by the way. We haven't even announced it. Yes, we're 8 minutes into overtime already, and we still got this and a whole nother story to go through. So listen, yes, you know what they say about overtime. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime. Send in your freaking money, yo. Absolutely.
Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate some freaking money.
Yo, Major W, we got Virginia Chaos coming in hot on the Cash App, and he sends in $5. He says, Mike's Sandwich Fund. See if this goes through. Yes, because he's got 3 other donations locked up because of what he said in the comment when he sent it to me. And of course, he's talking about Iranian TV and all this shit. Now the feds got his shit locked up, but it did go through, by the way. So thank you for the $5, my man. And extra surprise as well with the 10 jewels. Very much appreciate you as well. Thank you, Baker. Appreciate that. And yes, make sure you guys hit the like button. Let's get the likes up. Appreciate that. All right, here we go.
Reached very soon as this week. Iran's parliament speaker, though, continues to mock Trump on social media. Mohammad Bagher posted on X, quote, massive attack coming. Wait, never mind. They want to negotiate. That's theater diplomacy on loop. Using bullying and broken promises and fake news as leverage is a failed strategy. Acknowledge the facts.
And you know what? I got to give you the sandwich clip because you were talking
Man,
about the sandwich.
motherfuckers talk all the shit they want. But you see me, I'm sitting up here snacking on this big ass sandwich, not getting a fuck. Kiss my dick, motherfucker.
There we go. All right, there we go.
Fulfill your commitments. We don't need more theater. This comes as President Trump fired back, speaking to a crowd on Thursday. Take a listen.
I'd rather make a deal because I don't want to kill people.
Real quick, Tiffany coming in with 200 joules as well. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you very much for making it rain in the chat.
I do not want to kill people, but at some point we were set for the biggest attack of any attack, and we've hit them very hard for the last few months. But we were all set for the biggest attack since World War II. And they called me and they said, please don't do it. Let's talk. And then they said, we never said that. You know what? The fake news knows they did say that, but we are talking. Let's see what happens. But they respect us.
You hear that chick? You hear that chick yelling in the background the whole time?
President Trump just yesterday, as we once again take a live look over the Strait of Hormuz, we know that Bahrain has condemned.
Real quick, Lindsey Smith coming in hot, by the way, with the 10 spot. Politics make me crabby too. Yes, it does. You can do that. That's why you got to have your left-handed tobacco on deck. You know what I mean? Ready to go at all times. You know what I mean? Very much appreciate that, Lindsay. We got brother Lee Lance with the 21 months. Yo, let's fucking go, bro. Thank you for that. Absolutely. Thank you for that, for believing in us for 21 months, man.
Attack by the Iranian-backed Houthi rebels on civilians in Saudi Arabia's Nahran region, calling it a, quote, dangerous escalation. We do know from Iran International English reporting the ministry said indiscriminate projectiles injured several civilians and expressed support for measures taken by Saudi Arabia to protect its security and its infrastructure. Bahrain also calling for international action to hold the Houthis accountable and cut off their sources of funding and weapons. Reuters also reporting now that...
Oh, shit. Brother Lee Lance as well, throwing in some craziness on the Cash App. He says, happy Felony Friday. Yes, sir, with the 5 spot on the Cash App. Thank you, Brother Lee Lance. That goes a long way, man. Appreciate it.
Officials from Turkey and Pakistan are in Saudi Arabia so the 3 countries can sign a joint defense agreement. Right now, I want to bring in Rich Kolko. Of course, we always bring him in to talk about the very latest happening there in the Middle East and really all across the region there. Rich, thank you so much, as always, for taking the time to be here with us.
Good morning, Josh. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Now, right off the top here, I talked about kind of the mocking that's been done by different officials, high-ranking officials over in Iran of President Trump, especially or essentially saying that everything he says is theatrical in nature. And what do you kind of make of that? And what does that say? Because it's probably not surprising to see that coming from Iran as President Trump says that a deal could be reached very soon.
Well, I think you and I have talked about this in the past. We've had this negotiations that's been going on between the U.S. and Iran, or hopefully negotiation going on between the U.S. and Iran to come to an end to this war. And I think whoever is assigned that.
Yeah, but it's not going to come to an end. This is a cycle we're in. You gotta recognize pattern recognition, right? Like you see that this is going to be a constant loop. We got to break this somehow.
Those negotiation duties. Having the leaders of the countries out on social media making these proclamations just makes it so much more complex, so much more difficult. You're sitting there trying to make a deal about let's open the Strait of Hormuz, and the president is putting up AI photos, and as is Iran, and it just makes it very difficult for those sitting at the table.
And I'm going to pop up the Strait of Hormuz again. We show it quite a bit here. As you can see, there's not a lot of movement, but it seems as though there's a lot of debate back and forth as to whether the Strait, and this has been going on for months now, but whether the Strait of Hormuz is actually open to traffic or not. You have President Trump saying it's sort of open right now and that the Strait needs to be open completely.
Yeah, they're averaging about 20, I think it was 28 ships per day. That's down from 200 ships a day.
Then you have Oman saying that the deal there is really just about shipping routes. Can you explain where things kind of stand from our understanding?
Well, yes and yes to everything you just said. Is the strait going to be open? And there's a huge difference between the U.S., Iran, and Oman declaring that the strait is open and the strait actually being realistically open. I'm looking at the image you have up right now. You see all those ships, hundreds of ships on the north side of the strait there, unable to head back south and get out with their cargo. And that's because the insurance companies. So even
Thank
though
you for that, Mountain Woman. Hopefully you be safe out there. Always appreciate you.
Proclaim the strait is open. The insurance companies are holding their own ships back because of the cost, because of the risk, and until they're comfortable saying the strait is open and the reality of the strait being open.
Hell yeah, I appreciate that, Mountain Woman. Thank you very much.
They are two different things, and it has to get open. I mean, we'll go back to the beginning of this war, and everything was, the Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Well, we don't even talk about that anymore so much. It's just the strait has to be open. The effect on the local, regional, and global economy is enormous, and the nuclear weapon issue seems to have been delayed until this one becomes resolved.
And it's interesting you say that because I just popped up a poll there. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's on the bottom of your screen and essentially says, which should be the USA's biggest focus in Iran right now? Again, the options there are stop the nuclear program, reopen the Strait of Hormuz, or both equally. If you want to vote, just scan that QR code there on the bottom right-hand side of your screen or go to livenowfox.com/connect. We, of course, as always, want to hear from you, and you're going to watch those updates.
Yeah, not interested. So they're going to go ahead and talk about a little bit about the Houthis up here. I want to see this because this coming out from the Israel War Room here.
Adding to Asia, that is very, very short term and needs to be resolved right away. You can clearly see how that has become the priority. That as well as
so the Houthis attacked Saudi Arabia, leaving 11 civilians injured.
Keeping this war minimal. The risk you're talking right there about the Houthis attack on Saudi Arabia. The risk of this war spreading regionally and beyond is very, very high. Just like a matchstick, somebody lights this off and one of these attacks goes awry, and real problem. So that as time drags on, the problem continues front and center.
And those boats are coming in real time. Again, you can scan that QR code, bottom right-hand side of your screen, or go to Live Now.
Don't care about that. I don't care about your poll. I want to see this from Reuters here.
Imminent coordinated attacks from the north and south by Iraqi militias and Yemen's Houthis under the supervision of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. That is according to a senior Saudi official who spoke Thursday with Reuters. Now, the official who spoke on the condition that they could remain anonymous said intelligence reports from Saudi Arabia, the U.S., and other regional countries indicated civilian and economic sites could be targeted, including energy infrastructure, ports, and airports. Saudi Arabia had also observed drones and missiles being moved, suggesting coordinated operations from both directions, again, according to officials. Can you explain the role here of Saudi Arabia, but also the role of the Houthis, because they are an Iranian-backed proxy?
Yeah, we all know that here. We've talked about that a billion times here on this very channel. And shit, we talk about it daily, actually. So no need to rehash it. Iranian International English comes out with authorities in Dashti County said controlled explosions could be heard near the city of I can't say, I don't even know how to say that. Morj in southern Iran's Beshir province between Friday morning and noon. The local governor's office did not provide further details about the planned explosions. I'm not really sure what those planned explosions that they're talking about on whose side. And Bahrain condemned an attack by Iranian-backed Houthis on civilians and civilian infrastructure in Saudi Arabia's Najran, calling it a dangerous escalation, the foreign ministry said on Friday. The ministry said indiscriminate projectiles injured several civilians and expressed full support for measures taken by Saudi Arabia to protect its security and infrastructure. Bahrain also called for international action to hold the Houthis accountable and cut off their sources of funding and weapons. Wow. There's a lot of activity going on here. Then we got the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The Kingdom of Bahrain condemns the Houthi terrorist attack on civilians, which we know, but everyone else is just putting out that kind of news. Then Iran International English comes out with something about Ted Cruz. What's going on here? Senator Cruz calls for U.S. to arm Iranian protesters, pursue regime collapse. Oh boy. Republican Senator, now this coming out from Iranian state TV, basically. Republican Senator Ted Cruz called on the United States to arm Iranian protesters and continue military and economic pressure on Tehran, saying Washington's objective would be the collapse of the Islamic Republic, CBS News reported on Friday. I think our objective should be regime collapse, Cruz said on the School of War podcast, adding that he repeatedly urged President Trump and Israel to provide weapons to government opponents in Iran. Quote, arm the protesters, give them the guns to let them overthrow their own government. So it's not American boots on the ground. It's Iranians fighting. It's Iranians fighting for their country, Cruz said. Cruz also criticized efforts to reach new agreement with Tehran, calling the June U.S.-Iran Memorandum of Understanding a disaster. Yeah, it was a disaster, but he thinks it's a disaster for a whole different thing. He's thinking of it from the Israel perspective. He's not thinking about our perspective. Anyways, in arguing that Washington should maintain economic pressure and continue striking Iranian military targets, he said he had no preference over who would govern Iran if the Islamic Republic collapsed. Man, we got a lot of activity going on here. We're going to see if there's anything else on this segment. It doesn't look like it. No. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move on into suspected stabber sought after Dallas police involved shooting. It's this coming out this morning. We're talking like an hour ago. Dallas police say they are looking for a 37-year-old. I don't even know how to say his name. I'm going to let them say it. After he allegedly stabbed a woman and fled the scene. Oh, shit. All right, let's go and bring this up. Here we go.
Officer involved shooting, and we're looking for a suspect. He is 30.
Can you fix the audio, please?
37-year-old Isadora Melo Munoz, and he is believed to have stabbed a woman at this scene and fled. He is described as a Hispanic male. He's approximately 5'5" and weighing 140 pounds. If you see this man, please call 911. Do not.
Brother Lee Lance, by the way, thank you for the donation on the chat. Appreciate that. Sorry, I was reading the news there.
Please call 911 if you see this man. We are currently looking for him, and we believe that he stabbed the woman at the scene and fled.
Do you have a time range?
Right now, yeah, right now we do not have a time, but I will get to that. It occurred sometime in the 7 o'clock hour this morning.
Okay, can you get
yes, sir. Motobomb, Virginia. Good morning to you, kind sir.
the condition of the woman involved?
So the woman was
Or
transported,
afternoon. Yeah.
and the condition is currently unknown right now.
And can you tell me a little bit about the officer response right now? I'm seeing that you guys have drones deployed, canines.
Yeah, so obviously because we're looking for this suspect, we have a large perimeter going on with officers. We have our technology up, so we have our drones up. We have every available resource that we have right now looking for this suspect.
Okay, and no officers were injured?
No officers were injured, yes.
And no other people?
No other people are injured, no officers injured right now. We don't know if the suspect was actually hit. So we're just looking for information to find him right now.
Anything else that you would want the public to know to look out for to avoid this area at all? Or
yes, obviously it's a heavy police presence in the area, so avoid the area if you can. But if you happen to see this man, we pushed his photo out on X. So we're asking if anybody sees him to please call 911.
Okay,
thanks.
Perfect.
And then his picture's on X. So
okay, is that?
All right, so as you heard the public information officer mention there, the photo is on X, and it's right there.
What's up, Chasing Ghost? Good morning, by the way.
On the left-hand
good
side
afternoon.
of your screen, it says the suspect in this incident is 37-year-old Isidoro Melo Munoz. He is believed to have stabbed a woman at the scene and fled. He is described as a Hispanic male, approximately 5 foot 5 inches tall, weighing 140 pounds. If you see this man, please call 911. Again, that is a post there from the Dallas Police Department. As we continue to cover everything related to this officer-involved shooting, it sounds as though no officers were injured, and I guess it's not quite clear if the suspect was hit by any of that gunfire, but he is accused of stabbing a woman right.
He's a little guy, fucking 5'5", weighing 140 pounds. Jeez. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I can't thank each and every single one of you guys enough. Honestly, I give it up to the members, man, that allow me to do this Monday through Friday. And then, of course, we have members only on Saturday mornings, that's exactly what we're going to do tomorrow morning, by the way. So make sure you guys show up for that. If you guys got any of the gifted memberships or you signed up for a membership yourself, make sure you tune into those. It's a good time. We don't discuss any of the political crazy shit going on. We actually have a fucking good time. So anyways, listen, much love, honor, respect, everybody. Be safe out there. God bless all of you guys. We'll see you guys very soon. And listen, man, be safe out there. We always appreciate you.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges.